This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, Reds fans, and welcome to another installment of the Reds POSTCAST, brought to you by the Locked On Reds and the Locked On Media Network. I'm Tim Daniel. I have been podcasting about the Reds for 5 years of publications such as Late Night Reds and The Riverfront. If you are checking us out for the first time, thank you so much for spending some of your Saturday afternoon with us here on the YouTube feed. Or if you're checking us out later on, be sure so much to give us that nice follow, subscription, you name it, you done it. Today, we're unfortunately talking about a Reds game where they lost 2-0, getting shut out for the ninth time in a row. I mean, not in a row. That's not right. Ninth time this season. Yet they average 4.5 runs a game. But whatever. On today's show, we're going to talk about Lodolo's start. Obviously, a really good day for him. The infield defense. And I know someone's going to bring up a play in the 8th inning. But overall, big picture, the infield defense is really good today. And yet, once again, the offense is shut out. All that and a whole lot more, and I will hear for you guys as well. So let's go ahead and let's get into it, shall we?
This is what you'll be talking about.
Let's talk about Lodolo today, because once again, we have another situation where we look at a Cincinnati Reds pitch and we go, man, he was good enough to win today. In a row. Yeah, Dave, that's really funny, actually. I totally forgot about the clerks there. But I guess, as they say, it wasn't meant to be. So Lodolo today, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts against a really good Cubs offense. Kept him off the board, gave the Reds a chance to win. Not really mad they lost today. Disappointed in some things, but felt like this was a game they really could have had. We're getting really good starts again from Lodolo. He had a really good start early in the week in Kansas City. And he's been really good of late as well. So we're seeing him now, his last 7, he's 2-2 with a 3.32 ERA, 40 innings, 42 strikeouts, just 10 walks. He's been really, really good of late. He's been really smart. And the way he's mixing pitches, he's just been really, really awesome. Man, there's a lot of PCA hate here. I get it. He has been really good the last against the Reds. That catch in the 9th inning was unreal. I can't even hate. Jake, Wrigley Field's awesome. He says here it's on his bucket list. I've been to Wrigley. It's really awesome. Spicy Taco has some feelings about PCA that I can't put on the show because it's a family show. But if you're in the YouTube chat, you can see them there. But with Lodolo, we're starting to see him just kind of find his groove on the year. He's had some really nice outings. He had the last outing against Chicago was 5 innings, pitched pretty well. Today, 6 innings. So the last 2 outs started against the Cubs, 11 innings, just 3 earned runs. 11 hits, 4 walks, and 11 strikeouts. So this is all good, Spicy Taco, all good. So this is a solid outing for Lodolo. This is what you want to see more of from him. I'm disappointed, obviously, that they couldn't pull off the win for him. I felt like he obviously had yet another game where he deserved that, but we digress. Let's talk about the rest of the pitching real quick. So Scott Barlow today walks the first batter and then strikes out the side. Not only that, he walks the first batter on 4 pitches and then strikes out the side. He was, for how up and down his season has been, he was really good today in his inning. So you obviously will be very pleased with that. To see him kind of go out there and have a game like that is obviously pretty great. Hope we can get more of these outings from Barlow. I think he's been pretty decent of late, if I recall correctly. Just looking real quick. Yeah, last 7, 2.25 ERA in 8 innings, 13 strikeouts to 4 walks. And a 0.88 whip in his last 7. So been solid for a guy that a lot of people have picked on a lot. He's been pretty solid of late. And then you have Graham Ashcraft. Now, I really like to use the last 7 appearances as kind of telling me what's the trend for the player. This one's not so good. He had a really good start there to the year. We felt like he was really earning a spot as a reliever. And that's kind of gone away. Last 7 outings for Graham Ashcraft, a 9 ERA, 7 innings, 7 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strike, a 2.29 whip. It doesn't get better. Last 15, a 6.23 ERA, 17 innings, 12 earned runs, 23 hits, 21 strikeouts, a 1.73 whip. That's just kind of been the unfortunate part. And Lyon Richardson comes in, who I think Lyon Richardson has earned the point. Look, it's a third today, so you can't really put too much stock into that. But I think he's kind of earned the point of getting more situational pitching and being used in better situations. Today, just kind of had to play mop-up duty after Ashcraft had the game slip away. I know a lot of people are going to talk about the Will Benson thing. At first, I felt like, man, why didn't he go out and get the ball? And then the more I thought about it, yeah, I get why he kind of backed up a little bit. I probably would have as well, being, charging at an outfield wall, especially after the Reds already lost the guy in that case, and Wrigley kind of having a much thinner foul line. Yeah, it's a bummer. It's disappointing, but you move on, you figure it out. You have a shot tomorrow to win the series, hopefully. Losing 4-6 to the Cubs, obviously, in 2 weeks is not ideal, especially as you're trying to catch them in the standings. But today, we couldn't get it done for Lodolo. He certainly deserved it, and we'll move on. Let's talk about the infield defense today, because I thought the infield defense today, even with the 8th inning, was greatly solid and made a lot of really nice plays. So we're going to talk about that here right after this. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments, whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player. There's never been a better time to get on the action than with FanDuel. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off or first pitch in our case, and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. For me, I'm going to go the red side here. I'm going to do a little futures bet for you all. Right now, Hunter Green is now 4th in the National League Cy Young, tied for 4th with Logan Webb in the NL Cy Young odds for plus 1,400. I feel like that's worth it. The way he's pitching, he's back now from his IL stint. I feel like Hunter Green's about to take off and keep doing what he had been doing throughout the season. If you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official betting partner of the NBA. Want to give a shout out to our everydayers who hang out with us here on the Reds Postcast after every single Reds game. It's great to see you guys like Dave, Patrick, Caleb, Seth. Good to see you all. Thanks for stopping by and spending some time with me on your Saturday afternoon. If you are just checking us out here on the Locked On feed for the first time, please be sure to hit that notification button so you can not only get my show after every game, but during the week, Monday through Friday, you get Jeff and Steve with their take on all things Cincinnati Reds. Let's guys talk a little bit about the infield defense here in a second, but first we got to talk about where this game was lost.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Unfortunately, it's Will Benson not be able to get that ball, and I don't blame him. I don't think anyone should blame him, but that was a frustrating play, and then it got worse from there with the Ellie play. And okay, let's talk about it. So everyone's bringing it up. I've seen it quite a few times here in the conversation. This is a 2 things can be true scenario here. I'm going to play devil's advocate. A lot of people are here saying bench Ellie. One, that's ridiculous for what it's worth. Absolutely ridiculous. Because yes, that was a bad play, but how many double plays did they turn today? And he wasn't every single one of them. He absolutely deserved to be credited for those just as much as you can criticize him for that one. I'm not really one to kind of, I can be pretty honest about Ellie when he frustrates me. I can be pretty excited about Ellie when he plays really well. But I'm going to have a hard time being pissed off at him for one play when he was the guy who really kind of turned a lot of huge ones for the team to keep the Cubs off the board. And if the Reds offense can string a couple hits together, give them a chance to win, but offense couldn't string anything together. And let Cheeto chew his butt pretty good and let us watch. I feel like Cheeto has not done any chewing of late. I haven't seen any of that besides his the excessive amount of gum when he's scratching his head. But whatever. I thought the Reds offense defensively today, especially the infield, even with that bad play, were awesome today. So we've got 3 double plays. By the way, Ellie De La Cruz started all 3 of them. Just making sure we have that out there while we're complaining about him. De La Cruz McLean steer has become the mainstay. And I know a lot of people want to send McLean down. And I know Steve has gotten a lot of flack for this. So I'm gonna go against some people here. I don't disagree with Steve. I know a lot of people do. I really don't. And today you see plays like that. I felt like that's kind of why you have the argument, right? And, when the offense can kind of keep things together and the way that the starting pitching is going, makes it a little easier to keep Matt McClain there at second base instead of sending him down to Louisville. If they did send him down, I wouldn't be against it. I just don't know how you can right now, even with Gavin Lux and so on. I mean, we all complain about Santiago Espinal every day, and the argument is have Lux and Espinal platoon. So I don't see how that's going to be beneficial with how we all talk about Espinal, but I digress. Defense today made really good plays. Thought they were awesome. Thought Trevino once again had a really nice day behind the plate. Offense just couldn't get it going, guys. And we're going to talk about that here in a second as well. But it's hard to really paint anything on that. I think this was just kind of one of those days where the luck was in their favor. The wind was wild today to start the game. You can see how cold it was inside the friendly confines. So bummer of a day. Defense was great. Hopefully they can keep that going. Hopefully the rest score some runs from here on out. I think the offense has been really good in our first stretches, so we're going to talk about that as well here in a minute. But let's go ahead and talk about our Locked On Player of the Game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Got to give it to Nicolo, right? He was the sole reason they had a chance to win this game. 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, 5 hits, 2 walks, no earned runs. So give kudos to him there as well. I know this one's probably a little bit of a shorter episode, but when you have 2 base runners all day, not a whole lot of content you can throw in there. But the offense today. First things first, tip your cap to Ben Brown, not my former co-host, Ben Brown. Came in, and after the Reds shelled him last week, had his stuff today. 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Someone play the Major League clip, please, because I can't in here because of copyright infringement. But they go Drew Pomeranz to open the game. He gets a strikeout in the first inning. And then from there, Brad Keller and Danny Palencia from my Cubs fan friends are telling me has a chance to be a closer for this team. That's cool. But they just had the Reds number, and it's a lot of goofy things. Of course, the one guy who gets a hit today is TJ Friedl. I expect no one else. And of course, the guy who draws a walk is Gavin Lux. But just didn't look like their at-bats were very great. Non-competitive at-bats at times. Seems like they were just out of sorts. Not until a hard hit contact. I mean, that besides the Friedl hit in the ninth, it seems like all but Trevino and McClain had strikeouts today. So just 1 for 28 as a team, 11 strikeouts. Can't be having that, especially against the Cubs, when the Cubs are giving you opportunity after opportunity to win the game. I mean, they're not scoring either. They're giving you a chance to take it, and you can't. So the Reds got to get that going again. They got to figure that out. And there's so many questions we can have about the lineup. I know we go through this every day. The 2 slot, what do you do there? I know Austin Hayes is out right now, so you got to figure out what you're going to do in that spot. And Tyler Stevenson, up till today, had been really good. And I still think he's been having a really good stretch, and I think he's going to keep that going. Just sucks because this is one you really would have felt like they could have won. I don't know. So let's kind of go through the chat real quick and kind of see what we have here before we get out of here. Jeff says, they should give up every time and never fail. Same old thing every time. I don't know what that means. Caleb says, let's bounce back against the Cubs tomorrow. I agree. William, let's see. We already got to Dave saying, just let Tito chew his butt, but let us watch. I don't know if I really need to watch that. I feel like some of those things got to be handled in the clubhouse. Patrick says, I hope PCA gets traded to the Dodgers. I do too, because he's really good, and he seems to be really good against us. Ian Happ again today, shockingly. I know. 2 hits against the Reds. Never fails that Ian Happ does something against the Redlegs. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap up today and look to a sunny day tomorrow. The Chicago Cubs are victorious today over our beloved Cincinnati Reds, 2-0 at Wrigley Field. The Cubs 2 runs on 8 hits, no errors. The Reds no runs on 1 hit, no error. Your winning pitcher is Brad Keller. He is now 2-0 with a 2.2 ERA. Your losing pitcher is Graham Ashcraft. He is now 3-4 with a 4.18 ERA. And Danny Palencia for the Cubs gets his 5th save. Tomorrow, the Reds are back at it. Yet another 2:20 start. And it's the first day of June. Holy moly, we've already gotten to June. Nick Martinez seems to keep his hot pitching going for the Redlegs. He's 3-5 with a 3.40 ERA. He'll be going against Jameson Taillon, who is 4-3 with a 3.86. I shall be back here, hopefully around regular time tomorrow, see if the Red Legs can pull something off here and get this win. I'm Tim Daniel. Everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us here on the Reds Postcast. Can't wait tomorrow to hopefully be talking about a series-winning victory over the Cubbies. Take it easy, everyone.